welcome back to my channel. It's Sam Plays. I'm Sam, and today we are finally doing our entrance for Kona Acres. So I had been really trying to figure out what I want to do for the entrance here. I'm going for a farm core island, and yeah, I was just having a little bit of, I don't know, inspiration block, I suppose. So it took me a while, but I decided to, you know what, just go ahead and go for it. Basically, what I'm going for is I am going for sort of a mountainous farm village, a farm town. You know, my villagers, they found this island, and it's just a mountainous island, and they found out that, you know, they can grow things on the soil and things like that. So they, you know, bought some livestock, they plant different plants, fruits and vegetables and things like that, and found a way to live on this mountainous land. So that's sort of my inspiration here. I'm kind of taking that and rolling with it. For a while, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do cliffs, but sort of adding the mountainous vibe to it just seemed like it would definitely open up a little more for me to do. When I think farm, I think flat, and I didn't want that. I wanted cliffs. I don't want huge cliffs, but I definitely want cliffs throughout the island. And yeah, so as you saw, I made a pond. Eventually, I would like the pond to connect to the river mouth on that side. So that will be a different build. And on the other side, I have a cliff that I am making. So we are just sort of terraforming this. And I am still working on my terraforming skills. Some days are better than others. But as you can see, I decided to also put a cliff here. I definitely love waterfalls. They're one of my favorite things. And even though farm, you think farm and they don't have waterfalls, I am going to be putting some waterfalls on my island. I'm not going to have any super extravagant waterfall builds. I'm doing more farm builds, bigger farm area builds, since that's my island. So yeah, today apparently everyone wanted to talk to me while I started building. Like, literally my villagers don't talk to me. But I decided to build, and literally everyone will talk to me today. It's crazy. So yeah, so you can see I am just working on building these cliffs and trying to figure out how big I want the cliff. I think at the end, I might have, I think I make it a little bit smaller, but maybe I don't. I honestly don't remember. I feel like I've changed so much. Like I said, I just sort of rolled with the punches here. So as you can see, I'm still sort of new, so I had to basically tear down my pond just to flatten out and curve all of the edges. So the pond does take a little bit for me to figure out kind of the shape that I want. But overall, I do really like how this turned out. I also feel like I learned that you can actually terraform right next to the rocks up in the front. I didn't realize you could do that. So here in a few minutes, you will see that I actually extend it all the way to the rock at that point. Again, having some difficulties with this pond. It's like I thought this was going to be the easiest thing, and turns out I was completely wrong. So it took me a while, but I eventually got there. Like I said, at the end, I really like how it turned out. I'm excited to see what it will look like once I extend it out. Like I said, that will be a different build though. Um, so yeah, like I said, I just mainly focus on the entrance part. And yeah. So now I am going through just curving all of the edges here. And here's where I sort of decided that I want to do a cliff tree. I've only done this a couple of times, so I'm not a super professional at it by any means. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I like how it turned out. I love having it right on the edge here. It just screams more mountain to me almost with having things on the edge like that. So yeah, you can see I sort of extended out the cliff and I'll dig my hole, which I actually think you're supposed to knock out that corner beforehand, but yeah. And then the water, just did the two corners and then went back and filled in. And yeah, so this is probably the one hack that I actually can do for the most part. So yeah, it's pretty exciting, but like I said, I really like how it turned out, how it's pretty close to the edge there. I wanted to see if I could modify a little bit more and it wouldn't let me. I think it's just because I hit the wrong blocks first, but honestly, I'm okay with it. Like I said, I just wanted it on the edge. So here I am starting my pathing. I am using an in-game path as my base path, and you'll sort of see what I mean by a base path. But there is sort of this new pathing technique that I saw recently, and I thought it was super cool. I'm still working on how to use it, but I think so far with what I've done, I really enjoy using it and trying to figure out the different ways to use it and sort of how the pattern would be in the different spots. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in all of the pathing. And the cool thing about this is this will show up on the map. Bellhaven didn't have any in-game paths, but it had tons of water. So it'll be really cool to see Kona not have as much water, but have a ton of in-game pathing. So it'll be really cool to see the difference between those maps. So I've now filled in, and I am using this green grass path, and basically I'm going to lay it on top of the dirt path. And from what I've been seeing and hearing, this is, I don't know if this is called an inverted pathing or something along those lines, but basically you're just taking the main path and then sort of adding your own green grass to it. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, so like I said, saw this recently and I thought this would be perfect for my farming village, my farming island. So I decided to try it out, and I really love how this looks and how it turns out. Like I said, it's definitely a little bit more of a learning curve, and I just started really learning how to use the path. So now doing it this way, it's definitely a challenge. I haven't done it before, so I'm super excited to do it on this island and sort of see what I can come up with using this way of pathing. I also do like this green grass though. It's very close to the spring grass, but it is just different enough to where if I were to put it on the grass, you could see it a little bit, and I like that. So I definitely have some really neat ideas with the path as far as using it to maybe go to like secret areas or things like that, you know, places that aren't quite as traveled. So yeah, it'll be really cool to see what I can come up with for this path. So basically, I'm just laying it down. I am matching the outer edges, and once I sort of get an outline, I go through, I fill in all the middle pieces, and then I really look to see what I should change or if I should change anything. And some of the outer pieces will change once I start adding to the path, but I just sort of wanted to get a somewhat completed look for now. So I was really having some issues with that area. I didn't want them both up, but yeah, I didn't want it straight, but it's kind of like I couldn't quite figure out how to do it that way. So it ended up being more straight, but that's okay. Like I said, I still really love how this turned out. So here I put down a bunch of clovers and little weeds and little flowers. I do actually change these, and you'll see that at the end. I will put the codes for these down below. They are super cute. I sort of decided I wanted to go a little more grassy, a little more almost overgrown, so to speak, on these pathings. So I decided to switch them out. The white flowers do stay, but the clovers that I use, they actually end up getting changed out. And like I said, all the codes will be listed down below. I found all of these on Pinterest. Yeah, but I really love the different codes that I found, and you know, it's perfect timing getting these 100, you know, the extra 50 codes to get 100 of them, because I wasn't really sure how I was gonna fit all of the codes, sort of with all the plans that I have. So yeah, you just saw I laid down a little stone circle path and I put a wagon on there. I love those flower wagons. I think they're called garden wagons. They're super cute, and the customization options, all of them are so pretty. I just went with the darker brown one. I thought it would work better with sort of what I'm going with. So most of my colors are going to be like browns and more natural looking colors, darker browns, things like that. But as you can see, I'm getting all the flowers and bushes here. And my flowers that I'm going to use are going to be white cosmos, yellow tulips, and green mums. I just love that combination of flowers with the white, the light green, the yellow. I also like having the tall tulips against the shorter cosmos and the shorter mums. They just look so good together, I think. So yeah, definitely super excited to see how everything turns out using the color combination that I have chosen. So here I'm just laying down different bushes and flowers. So those are the best fillers to start with. And then I sort of work from there. I'll start adding trees as well, and just sort of, like I said, filling in. So I definitely wanted a tree here, and here's where I sort of worked around the path again. So I sort of wanted to fix it, and it kind of got a little bit bigger than I was really wanting it to be, but like I said, it still turned out really good, I think. And I like how the weeds sort of go around the tree. Yeah, I just think it looks super good. I might try to go back and see if I can hack it with the new tree hack. I don't know if they got rid of that yet. But yeah, I might see what that would look like if I can do it on I don't think we could do it on the cement though. I think obviously you can plant it on the dirt, so I don't think it's even gonna matter how I do it here. So yeah. Alright, so I have finished the path. I am just going to grab a bunch of items that I think I might use. You can see I do have a few color variations. I wasn't sure exactly what route I wanted to go as far as colors, and I sort of decided to go with the darker browns. I just like how they look a lot better. I just wish that the browns would sort of match. So like the bench is like brown and dark gray, and on the wagon it's like brown and gold. I wish that they would color coordinate those better, but I still think it looks really good, and it still matches my theme very well, and I just, like I said, I just like how this all turned out. So I am working on the first cliff and just adding trees where I think that I will want them. I just sort of place things where I think they will look good, to be honest. I don't really have a rhyme or a reason on how I decorate. I just sort of go for it, and if I don't like it, I'll change it. I've got obviously tons of fruit on the island, so if I have to move a tree or things like that. So for me, I'm more visual, so I have to really lay everything and then go from there. I know a lot of people tend to really visualize things beforehand, and I can't quite do it. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just how I am. My mom is a very visual person. She can picture everything down to, the last straw on the table or something. I don't know. But me, I have to actually like physically place them down to see it and to see if I like it. So yeah, there's a lot of just playing around with things like that. I do have this brick pathing that I really like. I'm still working on how to really use it to the best of my abilities here. I really do like it, and I really need to like sit down and work with it and come up with different ways to use it and different patterns. But I just like how it plays off so well with the silo there. It almost matches, and I really like that. So I do work with this, and I get it to a point where I do like it. I know it's sort of just in a line, but sometimes just a little extra, you know, detail like that is all you need. So yeah. Now I'm just slowly decorating this cliff, just adding some things that I think would look good, that are somewhat farmy, and just look nice together. I mean, it's sometimes like I have a rhyme and a reason for what I'm doing, and cliffs like this, it's just more, hey, let's make this look good. So, yeah. And again, those codes will change. I'll end up changing them to the new ones. I think I changed them the next day. I don't think I filmed that part. I didn't really film me changing out those codes. But at the end, you'll see what it looks like with the new codes. Like I said, I really like how it turned out. It looks a little more overgrown. It looks like, people are walking and the grass is sort of starting to, fade away. And yeah, it's just super cute. Whoever did that code did such a good job. And I think I have all three variations for the spring one, which would be the just the normal like spring grass. There is a mushroom one, so it's got a bunch of of the spring grass, but there's little like red and white mushrooms, which are super cute. And then there is a clover one, which I thought was just so cute. And yeah, I love how they all turned out. And I also added like a leaf code that would sort of look similar to the leaves that fall off the trees here. So every now and then I'll lay that down like close to a tree just to sort of break up the little grass that you'll see at the end. The leaves are, you know, bigger. It gives a little bit of contrast to the ground. Now I am about to start the next cliff. I have to go get all these flowers and bushes and things like that. So I really like the red camellias. I think they are going to be about out of season, but I do like the leaves on the camellias. So I'm actually really excited to have a bunch of those. And the pink camellias, I was going to use those around some houses. But obviously that's going to change because they do go away, I believe, in a few days. So I will have to find out what flower is next to make sure to see if I need those or want them on the island. But I definitely do like the red camellias with this, so we'll see what flower is next. But here I am laying down the brick path again, and I believe I do end up getting rid of this and going a different route. So I did find another trend that is starting to happen. I thought it was super cute and just a fun way to add a little different vibe, I guess. Not vibe, but a little different of, you know, of a code instead of just going back and forth. I've been seeing these diagonal rugs and things like that, so I found this one. I thought it was super cute, very simple, sort of like a white lacy one. I believe I saw this on Console Kato's stream or video, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have that one. I just think it's so pretty, and the little designs in the middle just to me scream like spring and farm, like something someone would sew together or knit or things like that. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and decorate around and make this cliff look pretty. I love the hay bales against the wagons. I love the light brown hay bale with that dark brown wagon. I just think it looks so good in a nice like contrast of the brown colors. And that wagon is probably my favorite color variation. They all, again, are super cute, but that one might be my favorite. So as you can see, I am putting down a barrel. Barrels are just, to me, I love barrels. They're probably one of my favorite. See, again, the third person to talk to me. They're probably one of my favorite items in the game. They just look so good. I wish we had more variations to them, but I do like that they are taller, and I love that we can put things on them. I am using the windmills. I wasn't sure if I was going to use them, but I really like how they turned out. Like I said, I was so unsure of how they were going to be, if they would be too much, and they really weren't. So yeah, it's just really cool seeing this all come together. Like, I did not really come in with a plan. So seeing how it turned out sort of at the end makes me feel pretty good. So I'm definitely happy again with how it came together. So just putting down a few more naturey items. So I love the ironwood table there, the, I don't know, ironwood rolling table. I don't even know what it's called. But I love that item. It's probably, again, one of my favorites. And the floating biotope planters are just so cute. I feel like they're pretty underrated, but that's just me. So, I just wanted the area to feel very natural with, lots of flowers and bushes and trees, but still have that farm feel. I also figured out that this looks really nice under a silo. It's hard to see in this one, but you can sort of see the edge there and how the silo sort of sits in the middle of it. I really like how that looks. So, yeah, it's been really fun playing around with the codes that I have and seeing what I can do or what I can't do. So, now I'm just finishing up trying to get a cacao tree to hang out. So at this point, I sort of realized that I am pretty close to being done. I got lucky and my street lamps are brown, which I think look really good, sort of giving the color scheme of the island here. So I am definitely pretty excited. I do, however, need to get a brown park clock. Luckily, I have a family member who has the blue airport with the brown clock. So eventually I'll get that and use it to decorate around resident services a little bit more. But just sort of trying to make that area very welcoming and inviting, leaving some sitting areas around the plaza here. I definitely think I need to add a few things on the corner there. I'm just not quite sure what I want to do there. So maybe once I get more inspired, I can figure out what to do right there on the corner of the plaza. But for now, I do sort of like that it's open though. Alright, just fixing the path so that way the wagon looks a little bit better sitting on that path. I'm just sort of trying to pave the way here for other pathing so it will easily connect. So I'm just trying to leave it open, but trying to make it look somewhat complete. So yeah. In here, I went and got a few butterfly models from Bellhaven and just putting a few of them around. I don't want to put too many. Just because I have an idea for some bug models like that, and I don't want too many floating around in the front here. So I did put one on the barrel, but I decided to change my mind and I put it sort of in front, and I was just having difficulty trying to get that back to how it was. And then once I did, I realized that I can't get out, so I actually had to call and get lifted out. So I haven't had to use it very often. Of course I have to use it on the first build of Kona, but it's okay. Alright, so I'm just sort of doing one final walkthrough here just to see what I need, and I sort of realized that I really need something here. Like I said, there's definitely a few things I would like to add just to fill in some spaces here. And like I said, I'm sure once I get more items or things like that, I'll be adding throughout. And I'll just keep you updated with sort of what it looks like. But yeah, I'm just sort of trying to fill in any empty spots or things like that. So I do end up adding a couple more windmills. And again, I really wind turbines, not windmills. But I do really like how these turned out. You can see them just a little bit peeking behind the trees and things like that. And I just think it looks really cool. So I end up putting one over here as well. And I am, you know, after this build, I have decided I'm probably going to have to take stock in wind turbines. So yeah. Alright, and this is the final walkthrough. So this is the entrance. As you can see, it is bunny day now, so we've got some eggs on the tree. And I actually went through and changed out some of the codes for more of a like grassy look. I really like these. All the codes that I have used will be listed below. Um, I love how this turned out. It's very simple, very sort of overgrown without being too crazy overgrown. But yeah, so I will be inserting some pictures here of some shots that I have gotten. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. This build was super fun, super simple, and I just love it. I love how this turned out, and yeah. So if you like to watch content like this and want to see more, please subscribe below, like and comment, tell me what you think, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!